Why they're selling poultry is because the market was not designed. Nobody should sell poultry to anybody. What the normal thing is that they will acquire poultry and ask us to factor it in their revenue requirement. I will find a way to allow them to get a credit. Now, that's an important point for Nigerians. You know, we are not been consuming power. If you look at their bill, I asked myself, there was a time that NEPA, in December, when there was about 4,500 megawatts, we had more power available. My bill shoot up. Why? Because think about what you're paying now for those who have prepaid meter for limited consumption. Now think about we have 24-hour power. The bills will go up, and we're not in the habit of paying bills. So what I want Nigerians to look at...
If they get electricity, they'll pay.
Well, you say so, but many Nigerians, bill paying is a culture that we have to develop.
Yeah, but people have been paying for what they don't see.
If it's prepaid, it protects both the consumer and
absolutely.
The supplier.
People come to me and say, I recharge. They're not saying estimated. They say, I recharge 5,000 in 2 weeks. And it's gone. What's going on? Now, they don't tell you how much they recharge for phone call. I ask them, what do you use? You say, I have a duplex. You have how many ACs? I say, okay, now, have you been having power? I say, yes, power has been regular in our place. Like in some part of there was a guy who told me in 3 weeks there was no power, the power didn't go off. In my own place, power goes off, and then because we are a new neighborhood, we're not fully loaded. So power goes off, the next minute is back. So I pay more. I scratch, every moment probably will go and recharge because the thing will be running low. So what I'm trying to say that it's two ways. While we improve network, while we expand access, while we get more reliability, the cost of consumption will go up. All over the world, what government is doing today now is to see how they can mitigate rise in energy pricing. Okay. And that's why we have the Power Consumer Assistance Fund, which tries to find a way to subsidize poor.
Who does it go to? The assistance fund.
The assistance fund is been designed in a way that each disco will say, I have the poor, about 5,000 people on this income level in my place. Then I have 20,000 of those who are very rich. And the minister will declare which class of people should subsidize who. So they can say that these rich people will subsidize this class of consumers. So we, NEC, can ask, okay, maybe 50 kobo in your energy bill is that subsidy. So it put into a power consumer assistance fund. So what happens whenever the disco sells power, they take out those who are supposed to subsidize, and then it goes to reduce the bill of those who are supposed to be subsidized.
And so this is determined by location.
Yeah, it's determined by location, by the quantity of people you have. And the first thing is that the minister has to say, these are the classes. For example, we can say R1, which is the very poor, or R2, will subsidize. R3, the rich commercial people who use big transformer, or C3 or R3, will subsidize R1, R2 class. So when that decision is made, then each disco will look at their customer base and say, we have this number of industrial consumers, we have this number of residential consumers on R1, R2. So that means that whatever amount is coming from those people will go to mitigate the rate impact of this other class.
That chap who lives in a duplex, can they fall under R1?
Well, it's going to be based on two ways. Either you do income or energy use. If you live in duplex and you're using, your energy use is X, then you have, for example, R1, which says if you don't consume more than 50 kilowatt hour for a month, which is basically you use air conditioner, so you are very poor. You don't pay fixed charge, you pay only 4 naira. So it has to be based on consumption. You cannot claim to be R1 when you're living in a duplex with all the aggregates.
Okay, tell us more on this, because you just mentioned something now about a fixed charge. It's not flat rate for everyone.
No, fixed charge is not flat rate. For example, the R1, the very poor, don't pay any fixed charge at all. R2, R3 pay 700 or something. Lagos, Abuja, 705 or so naira fixed charge. Then R3, which are those who are directly metered to the transformer, those who have their own dedicated supply transformer, pay much more. I think another group pays about 18,000. So, like C3, those who are commercial, their fixed charge is probably 100 and something thousand because of their impact on the network and their consumption.
Let me bother me, Dr. Amadi. Last time, some time ago, at that time that you had said that these meters are supposed to be supplied free, people went out there and said, look, they're not giving it to us free. In fact, PACN officials were saying, what do you guys mean it's free? There's no way this is going to be free. Well, the rest is history now because it's not free anymore. I've got Ifediata Nnamdi who says, a PACN official asked me to pay 42,000 and 82,000 naira for immediate delivery of single and triple phase prepaid meter if I wanted it as soon as possible.
This is, sorry to say, a corrupt country. Look at the word, immediate delivery. that means it's not even to be processed through the company process. So somebody says, people are making business from scarcity and anxiety. We don't have meter. I want meter. And somebody says, my brother, this meter, forget Nike. If you can pay a premium more than this, we'll give it to you now. So go for the back door and get the meter in stock and give you and collect the money. So these are things happening under the rule. You see, we have a problem of enforcement, which is why with the new owners coming, we are happy because it can penalize them financially. Now, the issue I want to say about the company, NEC, the meters are still free. What has changed is that in the past we say, if you're paying your meter, if you're paying your tariff, you don't have to pay additional fee. But I will say, because people complain to us and say, we don't have the meter. So, okay, now, if you are advancing money, so it's still free. You are advancing money if you like. Advance me money to supply you this good, and I'll pay you back. That's what it is all about. If I let me say this, when we went to South Africa, I was supposed to speak in South Africa, and I sent my staff. The South African regulator, as advanced as they are, we are so captivated by company that they want to come and borrow that model. Do you know why? Because everywhere in the world, metering gaps exist. Only our own is too big. And they are looking for a way to do it. And they said this company is a very good idea because it helps the discos have some financial support. So it's designed to intervene in the absence of financial viability of the discos. Now, if these new owners come, CAPME is a very smart interim measure, and the South Africans found it very interesting.
I'll tell you why Nigerians are complaining about this fixed charge. It's still because of the non-availability of electricity. If we have power,
totally right,
definitely people wouldn't complain, because if you exhaust whatever unit you have within that same month, you'll be approaching the office to get more.
Absolutely.
So if I have maybe 5, 6, 7,000 naira worth of unit, and I don't have regular electricity, I won't be going to the office. So if I go there in the next 6 months, meaning you'll be waiting to take 750 times 6. That is the complaint, because
Absolutely.
by the time finally the man goes there to say, okay, let me recharge my electricity,
It'll be 5,000 naira. You find out that half
and by
of
the
it.
time they subtract what they say he's now owing, because he can't approach them to say he wants to pay when he hasn't exhausted what he already has.
Yeah, totally correct.
So how can we change all of this so that these kind of complaints won't be coming before the people?
You're right. The problem, those who have more power supply don't quarrel about fixed charge. You're right. People, the quarrel is that 3 months I have no power, then I travel, then I come back, I give you money, you said, well, you gave me 2,000, the only thing I'm giving is 500 because the last 3 months you didn't pay. It's like, what's going on? Secondly, 2, information. The distribution companies were very, very, they did not do their work well in communicating with their consumers. Up to today, many of them have not had any campaign to their consumer. Consumers are supposed to know. If they know, understand properly, they can tolerate it. So when they come in, they know what it is. But the final answer is this. Reliability is the issue of availability. And that is why we have done all we can to make sure there's more power. We hope NIP delivers, and they are going to deliver. The more power being the grid. 2, we've got the regulations to allow for people to now build small power and support different discos. Don't forget that we have now divided the discos and their tariffs are different. So if any disco, every CEO is now challenged to go to the private sector. I spoke yesterday to the annual Congress of Stockbrokers. I talked about Nigeria capital market. They can begin to finance small power solutions to embed power in various discos. So what we're going to have in the next 3-4 years is that people in Lagos or some people in Kano maybe enjoying, not complaining about power supply, and maybe people in elsewhere will be complaining. So that's why we're providing incentive for different distribution units, and the state governments themselves can be partners. State governments can come and put in power through a PPP framework and say we want to increase power supply in Lagos or in Port Harcourt. And then when that power comes in, the disco has more power to circulate among the people, then they invest in reliability, then there will be much more power. People will not complain. So we are retailing scarcity. And because you're retailing scarcity, every small increase of tariff, every small problem, people are...
will the consumer...